You touched on education. Now, I think you know a little bit about this,
Yes,
but we're having challenges with getting people through, and you talked about your GED program.
Right.
What do you see the mayor being able to do, since you've been exposed to the school board quite a bit? What do you see the mayor being able to do to impact this?
Dr. Flinn, for the last 30 years at least, Memphis City Schools Board of Commissioners has been failing our children, our parents, and our community. It is a sin and a shame that we've got one high school that performs at a level higher than the state average. And everybody knows what school that is, White Station. Well known across the nation. Well, what about the other schools? We've been failing, man. We have been failing our children. If you want to get your child in a so-called good school, you know what you got to do, right? You got to come down to Memphis City Schools on Avery. You got to camp out. You got to spend the night on the sidewalk. And it's been like that for years.
I've been to that, yeah. And
We
people
have
in lawn
failed.
chairs just sitting there. Yeah.
Why are we accepting that as a people? Why are we accepting that as a city? As mayor, you know what I'm going to do? I promise. If Memphis City Schools fails to meet the standard one more time, mayoral takeover is it. It's been done in other cities, and it's been done to great success. When the mayor takes it over, it happens to run right, because what I'll do is turn the schools back over to the teachers, the principals, and the parents. We haven't done that. We keep bringing in superintendents. I have nothing against Dr. Cash. I had nothing against Dr. Johnson. I had nothing against Dr. House. But when you bring people in from the outside who really have no stake, they have no personal stake in Memphis, and why should they? You're not going to get the best result. You're just not going to get the best result. So what we got to do, if necessary, is take it over and give it back to the principals, give it back to the teachers, give discipline back to the teachers, because they lost it. We took it from them.
Okay. And this business about not failing till they're in the 4th grade or something, do you see that as a positive or negative? And would the mayor continue that?
Well, oh, my goodness, no. Oh, no.
Okay.
If I implement a mayoral takeover, as I said, I'll put it back in the hands of the teachers and the principals and the parents, and I think the parents want you to fail a child who's not meeting a standard. But now, this is a very important promise that Dr. Cash made when he made the initial proposal. Dr. Flinn, he said, now this is what he said. He said that for every child who does not meet the standard, he's going to provide intense one-on-one interventions for every child. Now, I don't know where he's going to get the resources to bring all these people to bear on these children, but that's what he said. And if he does that, then there literally will be no failures.
Okay.
But he's got to do what he said he's going to do.
Now, getting people through high school, okay, that's one thing. But getting them to college, to living the American dream, just like you're living the American dream. How do we get people to college and emphasize the importance of them finishing college and getting a good job?
Dr. Flinn, it's unfortunate, but as you know, Memphis is one of the poorest cities in the United States of America. Now, that does not prevent a child from a college education, but it makes it very difficult to educate that child up to the level he or she should be by the time he graduates high school. We've got to improve secondary schools first. We got to focus on getting these kids out of high school. We've got to focus on getting these kids to the point where when they get to the 12th grade, they can read on a 12th grade level. Right. Because many of our kids go off to college and flunk out because they can't handle the college work. I would love to be able to agree with that silly mantra that we have as a school board. Every child, every day, college bound. It's just not reality. It's not going to happen. Fred Smith's son didn't have to go to college unless he wanted to. You got to give a young person a choice, but you have to prepare them to be able to make a good choice. Not every child is meant to go to college, but every child, we owe every child a decent high school education. Okay. We owe that to every child so that if they want to go to college, they can.
I appreciate that. And we've got some minutes left for you to sum up and tell the voters what you think and who you are and why they should vote for you. So take it away.
Thank you. I want to thank Dr. Flinn. I want to thank you for even listening to me for the last few minutes. I'm running for mayor because I think I owe it to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., to the legacy of the whites and Jews and blacks and old and young who gave their lives literally fighting for Memphis, fighting that Memphis might be a city of good abode. I'm not going to be the candidate of the status quo. I can almost predict. I can tell the future. I'm not going to be the endorsed candidate of the Commercial Appeal or any of the established organizations, because they know I'm unbought, unbossed, passionate, and not afraid to stand up for what's right. You know me, because every time you see where I said something or you heard me say something, your first reaction is, man, that makes a lot of sense. Common sense is not very common anymore. But I need you to help me to go to the mayor's office, to set an example of moral authority, faithfulness in marriage, and courageous leadership. I can manage people, but it's up to you to help me get to the place where we can take back the future for our children. I need your vote.
And this is Dr. George Flinn. I really appreciate you being here, staying with us, listening to this man, Reverend Kenneth T. Whalum, Jr. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time.